The monthly schedule for Uma Musume Global has been released. Today we'll go over all of the new events and banners to keep you up to date with everything happening. With 2 pretty important banners and some really nice freebies, there's a lot to look forward to in January. As you should know by now, Scorpio Cup is already fully underway, so best of luck in all of your races and trying to defeat the Taiki Shuttle menace. However, later on the 5th we have a big event, as it is the Hungry for a Miracle Christmas event, featuring Uma Bannrs for Christmas Oguri as well as Christmas Biwa Hayahide. This will start at the same time as the start of the registration period for Scorpio Cup Finals. So there will be a 12-hour period where you can try and make a new ace before having to lock in your finals team. I already have a video going over Christmas Oguri and just how meta-defining she is, thanks to her insane unique skill. And that guide also goes over how best to build her. So if you're interested in pulling and making a Christmas Oguri, be sure to check that video out after this. On the other hand, Biwa is a bit awkward because her unique requires you to maintain 2nd to 4th place for the entire first half in order to get a speed boost in the second half of the race, as well as having some weird innate skills with a long gold recovery but also a gold version of homestretch haste. Otherwise, the Christmas event also brings with it the Mayano Top Gun Speed SSR and the Narita Taishin Wit SSR support banner. Both of these give good gold recoveries, Taishin for end closers and Mayachi for frontrunners. Mayachi gives some nice skills in Nimble Navigator and Corner and Straightaway Adet. Meanwhile, Taishin also gives a lot of recovery skills. As a banner combined, they do give a lot of nice skills, but I imagine your carrots are probably going to be spent on the Uma banner instead here. However, as a free event support card, we will be getting a Marvelous Sunday Power card. And this free card is actually going to be very nice because at max limit break, it will give a 15% race bonus. And in the next scenario, Make a New Track, you will be spamming races non-stop. So getting cards like this with a big race bonus will be very useful for the upcoming scenario, as you will be spending more time racing and less time actually training. Then on the 15th, we will have the Fine Motion Uma banner. Fine Motion is an innate mile/medium pace chaser, although she can also be made to run long distances too. She is quite hill reliant because she has a gold straight descent skill which triggers on downhills, as well as decent gross of 15 power and 15 wit. Obviously she can work anywhere, but she will have a really good time when the hills do happen to line up and be in good spots for her. She also has both forerunner and right-handed innately in her kit, letting her cheat out some extra speed a little bit more easily. At the same time, on the 15th, we will also be getting the Manhattan Cafe Stamina SSR and the Inari 1 Power SR card banner. As usual, this being only a single rate-up SSR banner makes this not really ideal to pull for. However, the Manhattan Cafe card is a rare card in that it provides a gold debuff in the form of Stamina Eater for longer races. There aren't many cards like this that give gold debuffs, so if you want to become an evil trainer, maybe you can consider grabbing one of these for a debuffer. And then starting on January 19th will be the registration period for the next Champions meeting, Sagittarius Cup. This will be the Arimakinen Cup on Nakayama course, long distance of 2,500 meters, right-handed, firm in sunny conditions and in winter. Although round 1 will only actually start later on the 23rd of January. Just before round 1 starts though, on the 22nd, will be the Tamamo Cross banner. All the Kansai Ben brat enjoyers can rejoice. Tama-chan is a medium/long distance runner, although sometimes she can be made to run mile with enough sparks. She can run as nearly any style, pace, late or even end closer, and because of that versatility, her unique reflects this. Although her unique can sometimes be quite finicky to activate due to its rather strange requirements. Firstly, it activates on a straight in the second half of the race, in order to gain speed and acceleration. But she has to be in either 2nd and 3rd place, so like a pace chaser position, or she has to be in 6th or 7th place. So something like a late surger or maybe an end closer that is currently moving up. The fact that this activates on a straight 2 makes it awkward, so you can't really overlap it with other uniques that often like to trigger on corners. But if you do manage to get her unique off, it can be very powerful. Otherwise, Tamamo has a wide kit of interesting skills with Fast and Furious for mid-race velocity as a late surger, or innate straightaway spurt for an end closer. And most importantly, she has a gold version of tail held high for some more mid-race velocity. At the same time, on the 22nd, we will also be getting a nice nature Wit SSR and Oguri Cap Power SSR rerun banner. Both of these cards are great for late surgers, for on your left from nature, and Oguri giving furious feet for mild surgers. Nature also has that notable 15% race bonus at max limit break, which will once again be helpful in Scenario 3. Speaking of Nature and Oguri though, the 22nd will also be the start of a new set of legend races featuring Nice Nature, Oguri Cap and Grass Wonder. More importantly though is that on the 27th of January will be the New Beginnings campaign. This is not an event or anything like that, instead it was a special campaign that was meant to be for the new year originally in the JP server, known as the Yukitoshi Kurutoshi campaign. During this campaign, some nice freebies were given out. Obviously, we will be receiving some extra carrots, as well as a new song and a new winter outfit to wear on the home screens. But also during this event, the chances of getting a hot spring ticket during senior year late January will be increased. So I guess if you want to min-max as hard as possible, you should try and get your aces done during this period, as don't forget, that hot spring ticket does give 30 energy and 10 to all stats. A lot better than getting tissues. But most importantly though, is that during this new beginnings period, we should also be getting daily free 10 pulls, similar to what we had just before Unity Cup released, with some of these 10 pulls being used for Tamamo Cross's banner, and the other free 10 pulls carrying over to the next support card banner, which I will talk about in just a second. But before that though, it isn't mentioned explicitly, but we should also be getting the free Silent Suzuka speed card, which you can max out by buying copies from the club shop. The card has decent specialty priority, and a great selection of frontrunner skills. Obviously, it's not as good as the gacha version of Silent Suzuka, but for a free card, it's alright. Moving on to the 29th though, we have the New Year's banner featuring the Admire Vega Power SSR card and the Matikanefukukitaru Speed SSR cards, as well as the Urara and TM Opera O New Year ults. The support banner is very important because of the Fukukitaru card here, which once again gives a pretty decent 10% race bonus, which is useful in Make a New Track again. Although she does still have training benefits with a 10% training effectiveness, as well as a mood bonus and decreased fail rate when training together. This is of course all at max limit break. For Make a New Track, you'll also be seeing either this card or the Narita Top Road card, which will release alongside the scenario. However, don't forget that we should be getting some free pulls for this banner, so this could be another case of Rice and Rico where you may have already gotten a head start to getting some copies of Fukukitaru, or at least a head start to the pity, which might incentivize you to pull a bit more on this banner. If you do end up getting Admire Vega instead, she's not as bad as a provider for Pace Chaser skills, as she has plenty of pace skills. She also has a decent training effectiveness with some race bonus too, but remember, for Make a New Track, you want to prioritize race bonus where possible over training effectiveness. As for the Uma banners, Urara is still the same old dirt late surger as before, but this time in a nice pretty outfit. I probably don't need to give any analysis on Urara, just look at how cute she is, and that's all it should take to convince you. But as for the New Year TM Opera O, she has an interesting unique that increases velocity with 400 meters left in the race, but with a bigger increase if you've activated at least 7 skills, which might sound like a lot right now, but remember that eventually there will come a time where we are going to be showered in skill points, and activating 7 seems like barely activating any at all. So TM Opera O's new unique can somewhat be considered a decent inherit if you think of it like another Triumphant Pulse, except Operas will activate at 400 meters left, unlike Triumphant Pulse's 200 meters left, which hopefully will make it better since it's easier to benefit from the speed boost as there is more race to actually have that extra speed. Otherwise, TM Opera O is once again a pace/late surger built for medium and longs. More so longs though because of her innate swing maestro and a gold velocity skill that is specific to long races. And then lastly, it wasn't listed in the schedule, but alongside these New Year banners, we should also in theory be getting the New Year story event too, which does reward us with a free Meisho Doto Stamina SSR card. Now, this card doesn't have any race bonus, it has low training effectiveness, and it has low specialty rate too. Honestly, it's nothing crazy to write home about. But the card art is absolutely adorable though. Look at the cute little Meisho Doto. And that is all that matters. But otherwise though, that is everything happening in the month of January. What are you looking forward to the most? What banners are you planning on pulling on? Are you going to go for Christmas Oguri or maybe Tamamo Cross? Or maybe even both? Let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise, until next time, bye bye.